What is up, guys? Welcome back to episode number 2 today of our Huddersfield Town career mode here on FIFA 18. Just before we start this one, this is the second time I'm having to do this commentary. So, if this video goes live at 6 PM rather than 4 PM, I apologise in advance. There is a reason for that, and you are going to see it in a moment because it does affect the first 2 games of today's episode. So basically, when I uploaded the video yesterday and had it as a scheduled upload, it came up with a copyright strike saying the Premier League had blocked it on their grounds, saying we use something from them. But the reason for that is because the new Premier League graphics have caused that to happen. So I don't know how to get around that because I couldn't even release the video without like monetization or anything. Basically, meaning I don't earn any like income from it. I couldn't even release it just as a normal video without having, you know, money earned. I couldn't release it at all. It basically blocked it and you couldn't watch it no matter what. So I had to take the video down, which is what I've done. I had to then edit out the Premier League graphics bit to the point where it shows you just us getting ready to go into game and then as kickoff is about to begin. So sadly, I can't show you the 2 teams and the way they line up. So now I know this for future, I will be able to do it later on because I can go into the start menu and look at it that way. But for now, the next couple of episodes, I can't do it, guys. And I don't quite understand why it's coming up like that. I'm hoping that in a few weeks it'll be fixed and they'll kind of, you know, get around it. I haven't been able to check either on YouTube to see if anybody else is having the same problem with this or if it's just me. So, like, for example, there, before, you would have seen the entire team, like, come out and line up and get ready, you know, and show you who is in the team. So, unfortunately, I couldn't show you that, simply because of the fact of the copyright issues. So, yeah, it's a tad annoying, but I'll work around it, and hopefully I can have this video go live anyway, not have an issue with it, and have to take it down for a second time, and do the video for a 3rd time in total. But today, we are about to embark on a new journey here in the Premier League. It's our first season of Premier League football, and it comes at the hands of Crystal Palace, who, of course, in real life, lost this game to Huddersfield, sorry. I think it was 2-0. It ended in real life, and we actually scored the opening goal here of the game inside 65 minutes, and it was interesting because I actually brought on Palmer off the bench. I started with Meunier just in behind Smolov, of course, our new striker, who we paid like £16 million for, and he was involved in the build-up, Palmer, and he got us the assist, as Smolov got a little bit of luck to get ahead of the goalkeeper and make the score 1-0. And then from there, guys, we ended up with an even better chance. Smolov again going through on goal. He's very, very quick. Smolov takes the strike on. It is palmed straight into the path of Palmer, who makes the score. Huddersfield Town 2, Crystal Palace 0. So already, guys, we started off with an absolute bang. 70 minutes into the game, and we were leading 2-0 at Selhurst Park. Now, compare this to yesterday. It's a complete contrast to what happened yesterday. If you remember back to yesterday's episode, guys, we ended up with a 3-1 defeat in our only game we played of that in the pre-season tour. Comparing that to today, we're coming into the Premier League and we're ending up with a 2-0 lead so far at Selhurst Park. And then we had a chance to make it 3. A really nice back heel there, I think from Kachunga. Gives it off to Palmer. Palmer bursting through. I thought about passing it, but in the end, they showed me a little bit too much space down the right. We went through and slotted home to make the score 3-0 to Huddersfield. Pretty damn decent, if you ask me. We still had 14 minutes to go as well, so I felt pretty comfortable. I mean, yesterday, for example, we controlled the game, even though we lost it. I was feeling good about this one as well. We were controlling this game, and to be honest with you, I don't even remember Palace having a shot. Like, this is one thing that I've kind of worked out so far in when I'm kind of playing these games here. I either have really close games against the AI, or I have games where I just smash them. And it's not like in between. I don't think there's going to be like many 1-0 wins or 1-0 defeats in this series, simply because of the fact that right now, there's always been 2 or more goals in the games that I have played so far. So, yeah, I don't think there's going to be like close games in the first few episodes of this series, simply because I can't defend, but I'm pretty good going forward. So, yeah, it's a strange one. But as we led 3-0 here, we got a penalty, and Smolov stepped up to take it as well, and he made the score. Crystal Palace 0. Huddersfield Town 4. It is a brace for Smolov and a brace as well for Palmer on top of that. So already £16 million spent on our new star striker, and he scored 2 goals in his first game here for Huddersfield Town, starting off his career in the right way. Apologies, by the way, guys, if I get any of these pronunciations wrong of the players. I am not good. You guys probably know it by now. My pronunciations of players have never been good, or teams for that matter. So if I offend anybody or wind anybody up because of my pronunciations, I apologize in advance. I will try my best to be able to get them right. but sometimes, guys, I'm just stupid and I can't even get them correct. So, yeah, I apologise in advance. I might start calling our number 7, our new centre midfielder, by a different name. Maybe I'll call him by his first name when I realise what it is. But there you go anyway, guys. The first game of the series in the Premier League comes to a close, and we pick up a 4-0 victory. What a performance that one was. I was buzzing after that. I was like, oh my goodness me, maybe we're in for a good season this season. Because after yesterday's performance, I was kind of down in the dumps thinking that I may struggle this year to even do anything. But after that performance there, I don't see why we can't go on and get like a top 10, maybe top 12 finish. So, very, very good performance indeed. And you can see some of the other results as they came in. Chelsea beating Burnley, which of course didn't happen in real life. Burnley came away with a victory on the opening day in that one. Although Chelsea, of course, did have 2 red cards, so there is that. I'm pretty happy, actually, that it follows the actual fixture list of what happens in real life. So, of course, every game we're playing from here on out, barring, of course, the cups that are drawn, we should be playing in the same order that they are playing in real life right now. So that's pretty good as well. So, as we got a new scout report back here, I added a couple of players, I think, to our youth team, ready to come into the first team when they I checked them out and stuff like that. So, after the first game, guys, we sat top of the Premier League table, which I'm not expecting to see that again for maybe a few seasons, put it that way. So, yeah, after the first game, sitting top, sitting pretty, not too bad indeed, 4 goal difference plus, and it was a decent way to kickstart it off. So also, as well, we got a clean sheet, which I wasn't expecting either, because my defending this year is horrendous. But as we moved into the second game of the episode, guys, we took on Newcastle United here, and it's our first home game of the season in the Premier League. I was feeling pretty confident after the first game there. 2 newly promoted sides. It is always basically going to be like a goal fest when you have games like this. It's either going to be a small fest or a goal fest. So, as we came into it, I was expecting no 0-0 draw. So, I was thinking to myself, we're going to concede, but hopefully they will as well. And 21 minutes into it, we did actually end up giving them the first chance. Marino on the ball gets into the area. And the reason this frustrated me, guys, wasn't because he scored. It was because of the way the ball went in. If you actually take a look at this in a moment, guys, it goes down as an own goal, which means the strike from Marino was actually going wide. So had my defender have not blocked it and sent it goalwards, it wouldn't have been 1-0 because it was going wide of the post. So I was frustrated at that. I was like, oh my goodness me, I can't believe we conceded through that. And it got worse for us because Rolando Aarons gets through one-on-one with my goalkeeper and just hits an absolute rocket into the top corner and makes it Newcastle 2, Huddersfield Town 0. Stark contrast from the first game, guys, where we had a great performance, kept a clean sheet, and we're on top. This time around, it is the other way around. So, yeah, 2-0 down in 60 minutes. I was kind of unsure what to do to change this. I think I switched up the formation, went to a different formation, and then added a few new players onto the actual team as well. We gave Palmer a start during this game, actually, after Meunier started in the last one, just because Palmer played exceptionally well. But we pulled one back here later on in the game through Smolov. It's his 3rd goal in 2 games now in this Premier League campaign, which is pretty good return already for him. And I felt like we could go on and grab this second and pull it back and get a 2-2 draw here if we possibly could do that. So, great finish from Smolov, and it got us back into the game, in a game where I wasn't playing very well at all. So, as I was getting back into it, I gave a silly free kick away, and I felt like we could defend against this, but Matt Ritchie whips across in. I missed the initial kind of, I guess, clearance, and then on the turn, Mitrovic just hits an absolute screamer to make it 3-1. So, I was pretty annoyed with the way we conceded these goals. I can't lie, like, what is my defender doing there? And then again, it takes a deflection on the way through before going into the back of the net. Although, having said that, I think Mitrovic's strike was probably going in without the deflection anyway, so I can't really complain at that. But we did actually get another chance as well to pull the game back level. 85 minutes in, Smolov through on goal, makes it 3-2. Gives us a little bit of hope later on, as we have 5 minutes now to go up until the end of this one here. But I have to say, I just felt a bit annoyed because if I defended correctly, if I was able to defend and not give them cheap goals away, we would have come away with a point here, or maybe even 3. You know, the first goal is deflected, it's going wide already. We take it in and give them a free goal. The second one I don't think I could have done too much about, but then the third one as well, if my defender hadn't missed the clearance, we might have been able to defend against it and pull a 2-2 draw back. But it is what it is, guys. As you can see, match facts-wise, they had 3 shots, 3 on target, scored all 3. Yes, you read that correctly. So basically, guys, I am under the assumption that this year on Legendary, the AI just don't make mistakes at all. They just don't make mistakes. If you give them any chances in and around your penalty area, they're most likely going to score, because to have 3 shots against me, it's basically like the keeper is irrelevant. I shouldn't even have a keeper in the net, effectively, because it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. They're still going to concede goals. So yeah, bit annoying, but I guess we just have to go again and hopefully try our hardest to win the next game that we play in the Premier League, as now we move into some cup action for you guys. Carabao Cup, we're taking on Burton Albion. I was using this as a kind of training session for me to get used to the gameplay, as of course, this was only my 4th game into FIFA 18, so I wasn't too established with the gameplay just yet, so I decided to kind of use this as like a training kind of game. I put out my reserve team though, so I didn't play my first team, but we still had some good players in there, players that should win the game for us. So there is that. I mean, we shouldn't go on to lose this one against Burton, but you never know. The way I'm playing right now, it could go either way. And I think as well, guys, I'm going to kind of focus my kind of time onto the cup runs rather than focusing it completely on the Premier League, because the issue I have is, although we started off well, of course, we then fell to a defeat instantly after that, so now we're 1 win, 1 loss in the Premier League. I feel like I'm not going to be able to really push in the Premier League until I get more players in. And the cups could be interesting to try and go as far as possible because, of course, A, it's silverware, and B, if you go in a run in the FA Cup, you do get a little bit of money into the club. So the Carabao Cup, you don't get so much for when you get through, I guess, kind of the rounds and stuff. You don't really get too much money, but it's more about the silverware in this one, and we have a better chance, of course, of winning at this because some of the bigger teams don't really prioritize it. But on the other hand, the FA Cup, it gives us a nice little bonus into the transfer kitty, and it would be nice, as I say, to win some silverware. So I think I will be playing all of the games I play in these cups, both in the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup, whereas previously I would have probably simmed a couple of them. I'm not going to do that. I'm pretty much going to play most of them to try and win something in our first season, as I don't expect us to, of course, win a Premier League title already. But this game here against Burton Albion, guys, as I said, was more of like a training thing for me. And we took the lead inside 45 minutes. It was a striker that I'd not actually used yet in this series. It was like a backup one. Of course, we have Munier and we have Smolov, so those two are pretty much going to be our starting strikers in the Premier League and probably the FA Cup. Whereas this time around, I started is it Deportre or something like that, and he gave us a lead here, and he will probably be the striker that I go with for most of the Carabao Cup games, most likely anyways. And I have to say, he's not too bad, but he's not really Premier League quality. I don't think we'll start him in many Premier League games, unless, of course, there is injuries to our team. But Palmer then adds a second to the mix, guys, as well, to continue his good run of form since his start, since his substitute appearance, against Crystal Palace. Didn't do anything in the start against Newcastle, though, sadly. He had a pretty rubbish game in that one. But he's back here, and he's against Burton Albion, and he scores to make it 2-0. So that's 3 goals now in 3 games for Palmer in all competitions this season so far. Pretty good for a cam, but I have to say, he's actually not a permanent player at our club. He's only on loan, sadly, so although I was kind of focusing my training on him initially, I have taken him out since then, and we put Rob Holding in there and maybe some youth academy players, simply because I don't own the player, I don't want to be wasting the positions in the training, and basically getting his overall up for other teams, unless I was going to bring him in on a permanent deal, which wasn't really my plan, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not really looking to improve his overall by that much, in all seriousness. But we got a 3rd goal here, guys. Burton Albion trying to get back in the game. Left a lot of space in behind, and Deportre goes through and makes it 3-0 to Huddersfield Town now. And that was the way the game ended. So we go through in the next round of the Carabao Cup. And it means, of course, now we get into the 4th round, where we hopefully will pull an easy team and not have to play anybody major just yet. So had quite a nice kind of run of fixtures so far in these first couple of episodes. I have to say that. Of course, I've already recorded this one, episode 3 and episode 4, and we've had kind of a nice run of fixtures. So hopefully, you know, we won't pull anybody too major in the next round. Although, there was a couple of surprises in there, so not too bad either. But thank you so much for all of your support on episode number 1, guys. I really do appreciate it. If you've enjoyed this one, a like rating would be greatly appreciated. Of course, if, for whatever reason, it gets another copyright strike and I have to take it down, you won't see this video. But if it is stayed up and you do see it, then thank the Lord, because it means I've managed to work my way around it. So I would have left it up, guys, honestly, and not put monetization on it, but simply you wouldn't have been able to watch the video because it was blocked at all from all countries, even from watching. So I had to take it down and try and do something to get it up for you guys. But hopefully it comes out 4 PM today, guys. If not, I apologize. There will be another upload at 6 or maybe 4 of the Ultimate Team Road to Glory episode 1. So make sure you stay tuned for that. And I will see you all tomorrow again at 4 PM. Adios!